What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Season 6, my NHL 23 Vancouver Canucks Franchise Mode Series. As always, guys, thank you so much for the support on these videos. If you wouldn't mind, leave that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. I'd really appreciate it. As you can see here, we're 4-2 through the preseason history there, 10 points in 6 games. We actually signed him this summer. Pretty big free agent signing, honestly. We kind of needed like a really good two-way player, so he fits that role. He can also score. On top of that, too, I actually made kind of like a joke offer sheet to Michkov. Just kind of throwing it out there. Assumed Arizona would match. They did not, so we landed Michkov, and the first line is now him, Petey, and Misa, which is absolutely ridiculous. I actually just watched Misa play tonight against the Spits. I think he scored the first goal of the game. 15 years old, he looks so good. So I'm not sure if he should be medium franchise or high elite. Definitely one of the two. Kid's gonna be a stud. You can see right now in game, 99 passing, really good shot as well. So he's a beast. Second line there, you got Kuzmenko, Hischier, Patty Kane, also getting a +5. Third line, Lekermaki, Richie, Amante, also get +5. The first 3-4 lines there are pretty stacked. Even the fourth line, Fraser Minton here, 8th overall, 97 passing. We got Deneau in the middle there, very good two-way player. 95 D awareness still, even though he's 81 overall. And then at the right wing here, we got Akil Thomas, 84 overall. I still don't know how we got him for under $1 million, but an absolute great sign. He's also got 5-star physical with 5-star skating, so I feel like he's actually going to be a pretty good, player on that fourth line. Play physically, play fast. Defensively here too, top four is nuts. You guys said I have to keep the Hughes brothers together because Quinn, of course, had over a point per game last year playing with Luke, so I agreed. Let's do it. You can see they get a +3. Theodore Shabbat on the second pair get a +2. Then we got Zadorov, a new addition, got him for like less than $1 million. Playing with Wu on the bottom pair, they get a -1, but honestly, they should be okay. I actually noticed too, if I do this, we get a +5, +3, but like I said, you guys want the Hughes brothers together, and I kind of agree. Herbel, there's our new starter. We actually had to go Demko for salary reasons, plus wasn't really playing the best for us. He's an 85 now, backing up Portillo's 83. So, I mean, the two goalies there look good. In terms of the special teams, power play 1, very solid, +5. Again, both power plays actually have 2 defensemen just because our defense is that good. And you guys can see foreman power play 1, foreman power play 2. Every single power play has a +5. PK1, same thing there. We got Hischier and Misa. PK2 as well. PK3, unfortunately, +3. But overall, this chemistry is pretty much perfect. You can't really get much better than this. Aside from, I guess, the defense, we could have maybe 2 +5s there in the top 4. In terms of the AHL team, so we got Braden Tracy on the first line with Tsunemi and Eberle. Tsunemi here, 21-82 already, but just really no spot for him. Actually, I tried him on the fourth line. I forgot to tell you guys. Instead of Minton, we got a -1, so didn't think it was worth it. Second line, Soderblom, Lockhart, Malone get a +2. Mark Tone here, 77. We actually traded for him, playing with T. Swift there. Smolanek, you got Cooley, Suzuki, Strange on the fourth line, getting a +2. AHL team looks solid. Defensively there, you got 3 guys 80+. You brought in Jack Guy. Goaltending here, you got Lennox starting, Huxley backing him up. Once you said you actually want Huxley starting, but his role here is other goalie, even though he's a 77. Whereas Lennox there, you can see minor starter. So I think backup is actually a fine spot for him. I feel like we have Lennox, might as well use him. At the end of this season, I'm sure, Huxley will pass him, but for right now, should be okay. I think, too, someone said they wanted Kuzmenko out of the top 6, but if I do that, we just don't get a +5 on that second line. So I think as is, these are kind of the optimal lines. As well, too, you guys might have noticed Eric Carlson no longer in the team. Had a lot of money. He was 40, let him go. Misa there now rating A, obviously. He's a pretty sick player, so I thought he was deserving. I'll show you guys the ratings here before we get into the sim. Team stacked, as you can see, 100 offense, 100 defense, 86 goaltending. So far in 5 years, we made it to the first round 1 time. We have made the playoffs every single year. Hopefully this year can at least make the second round. Alright guys, I did not expect this at all. At the end of December here, I'm kind of panicking. We are just barely above 500, 17, 15, and 2. We actually have a wildcard spot there, 36 points. Luckily, pretty weak Pacific Division. You can see the Flames there tied with us for the 3rd spot in the Pacific. Even the West in general isn't doing that good. But I had, Stanley Cup aspirations for this team. I thought for sure we'd be at the top of the league. I'm not really sure what's going on here. On paper, we're stacked. P there, well over a point per game. AHL-wise, Lockhart, almost a point per game. They're actually out of a playoff spot. Wow, I thought the AHL team was really good, too. They're 6th place in their division. I mean, they're definitely within striking distance of the playoffs. They're literally a point back, but surprising to me. Only thing I can think is coaching, staff chemistry, 67%. It's not the highest. You'd like to have 70+, but it's not terrible. AHL is 71. That's not that bad. Dang, associate coach A-. This guy's got A+ power playing coach influence, the B teaching. He's pretty solid there. The assistant coach, TJ Oshie, I mean, stats are so good. I don't really understand this one. Maybe just something we kind of have to wait through. Hopefully by the deadline they can start, picking it up. I actually want to show you guys. I haven't really checked out the record book much. So no new records set yet. You can see PD has every single current record for us. And then Herbal actually has the goalie stats, which are pretty much, irrelevant. But I noticed here, Monte actually set a rookie record for the Canucks with the most goals there at 39. Also most goals in a game with 5. He did it in his rookie year. So I thought that was very, very cool. Yeah, guys, like I was saying, I think I'm gonna, keep the team together, keep the coaching staff together for now. Hopefully it was a slow start. A lot of times in this game, you do have that slow start. But if by the deadline, we're just still, hovering, I'm thinking bringing a new coach, and I don't know. I feel like we don't need to make a trade, but who knows. This is interesting. Calgary just offered us Wolf for Fickle, a second and a third. I feel like it's a lot to give up. We have 2 good young goalies, and even better goalie in the AHL. Yeah, he's only 85, so he's literally the exact same rating as Herbal, and he's got a below 900, so pretty ambitious, I would say, of a trade request there by the Flames. Kolosov there, another goalie. I don't know, why do they think... I'm going to have to check our goalie stats here at the deadline, but luckily, as you guys can see, we have started to win more the last couple months. We're now 34, 24, and 3 in the playoff spot. They're actually third in the division, so right now we'd be playing the Kraken. We could even pass them for second because points per game are higher. We've got 2 games in hand, so that's good to see. In terms of scoring, Michael Misa there, 56 and 61. AHL Tsunemi, almost a point per game. I guess, yeah, he's definitely make a push for the NHL next year. Is our team in the playoffs? Okay, AHL team is close, but not quite. Points per game, they're actually in 5th. So we'll get to the deadline. I don't know. We're definitely a buyer. I feel like we should be making the playoffs all 10 seasons of this franchise, but obviously it doesn't matter if we can't bring home that Stanley Cup. So Pierre-Luc Dubois is available. Thought about making a trade for him last year. He's got 1 year left. Saros there, Seth Jones, again. Leo Carlson did not get signed with the Red Wings. Wow, I saw him in free agency. I thought about maybe doing something. The trade value is not that high. I don't know if we want to make another huge trade there for a young player. Tyler Seguin, Mario Ferraro, Josh Morrissey, Nick Schmaltz. Sanko here actually signed with the Golden Knights. $8 million, pretty low trade value, probably because of age, and who knows, maybe he's on the 3rd line, not really performing with them. I mean, I'm always looking to add assets for the right price. I feel like Carlson there could be a potential to get. Even Saros, I mean, $7 million is a lot for him. Have to see what he's playing like right now. I mean, in general, he should be a good goalie. 89 overall, below 900. And the Predators have a winning record. What the heck? He's only played 25 games. Oh, I'm assuming is Askarov taking over as the starter? Yeah, he has. 89 overall with a lot better numbers. So, yeah, I don't think I want Saros, considering how he's playing right now. Herbal here, he's actually got solid stats. 912, 285. I take that all day, especially for 900K. You can't get better than that. Portillo here, below 900. Oh my gosh, guys. You know what I just realized? I totally forgot to extend Michael Misa. I just noticed it when I was looking at Herbal's years left there. I meant to do that beginning of the season. He is playing pretty well. He's leading the team in points. Okay, so let's do that, I guess, before the season ends. As well, too, you can see Theodore Shabbat. Their contracts are up. Honestly, brain fart by me. I meant to do that beginning of the year. And, yeah, I just totally forgot. But, yeah, we'll see. Maybe make a trade with Detroit for Carlson. Again, his trade value is not that crazy, which really it's not for an 88 overall 23-year-old player. Let's see. Playmaker there. Good shot. Good puck skills. Pretty much all-around player. Physical could be a little bit better. Speaking actually of, puck skills or whatever, I noticed Matvey Michkov, supposed to be a sniper, and somehow he developed into more of a playmaker. 95 passing, 5-star puck skills, only 4.5-star shooting. Having said that, he does have more goals and assists this year, probably because his shoot pass is heavily on the shoot side, but still, that was kind of interesting to see. I don't really know what we'd give up for Gil Carlson. I feel like, yeah, kind of all these guys here on the team. Richie as well, I think I wanted to extend. He's only got 18 points. Okay, so luckily he's not really having the greatest year, so should really get him cheap, but yeah. My bad. I'll do that after the deadline. And we're just going off with the Boston Bruin guys. John Beecher from Martone, Andrews in a second. That is a lot for a guy making $1.8 million. I assume he's a low 80. I guess he couldn't be. Yeah, 84. I was going to say for the asking price, he had to be good. 93 D awareness. 5 stars there. He fits in the bottom 6. The thing is, he's literally a 4th liner for us, right? Our 3rd line is stacked. We're giving up a ton of prospects there. I just don't think it makes sense because prospects and picks is something we're actually kind of low on. I was trying to make a different trade. I would actually exit me. I decided not to make that trade for Leo Carlson to Detroit because after giving it a second thought, there's no way we're gonna have the cap space to re-sign him, considering the fact we have to sign Misa this summer. So I was looking at this guy on the Leafs, Pajaduin. I have no idea to say his name, but 1855 grinder with medium potential. Jake McCabe there, 4.8 million. I mean, we gotta do our due diligence here. We'll take a look, but he's only an 80. feel like they should be paying me to take him on. So like I was saying, guys, this prospect on the Leafs, they actually got in the 3rd round, so really good job by their scouts. But usually these grinders with medium elite potential end up being like super 3rd or 4th liners, which is kind of what we need. I feel like we already have all the offensive talent, so I doubt we get a guy as good as him in the 1st round next year. So I'm gonna give up a 1st round pick. I was looking at it too. Say we do like our 1st, our 2nd, bet on ourselves. The value is actually maybe a bit on our side, so I'm gonna see if they go for like a 1st or 3rd. They want the 3rd. Again, I doubt we get a medium elite player in the 1st. So this is just like a smart move for us. They say no. Am I willing to do a 1st and a 2nd? Because we have the Red Wings 2nd, I think I am. Hopefully, like, they're obviously worse than us next year. And the Leafs still say no to that. Okay. Maybe there's something we can throw in. Again, I feel like he'd be a guy that really develops into a nice role player, something we would need. This Fickle guy here, 21 years old, still only 63 overall. Probably not going to develop. 1st, 2nd in him for medium elite grinder, I think is a good trade for us. And the Leafs like it. Okay, so hopefully, like, that was the right move. Hopefully that grinder becomes something. Other than that, I'm honestly pretty happy with our team. We only have 1.5 million cap space, so it would be really hard to make a deal happen. As I mentioned, we got to get these contracts done. Definitely Theodore Shabbat, they're pending UFAs. I'll just wait on them unless they ask for like a giant discount. For sure, Misa, Richie, and the goalies, we got to get extended. All right, guys, just got a big trade up here for the Montreal Canadiens. The dying seconds to the deadline. Doc, a 4th and a 7th from Martone and Andrews. So Doc would have to be really good, especially defensively and physically, which he might be. 20 points, 62 games in 12 minutes. We're not really using him much. 3.5 star defense. He's actually got decent defensive stats. How is that 3.5? 80-60 awareness, 89 stick check, 83 faceoffs. Physical there's 4.5. He's pretty good. Again though, 85 overall. He's on the 4th line. We have Thomas is 84. Janot's the faceoffs guy. Minton's 83. Needs some ice time. I just don't think he fixed anywhere. Honestly, if we do need a guy, maybe we sign him for agency or get his drafting rights. But yeah, like Martone, 77. Pretty good playmaker. Andrews there. Solid defenseman. They're going to say no here as the trade deadline wraps up. So I do like the one trade we made for the medium elite grinder. Oh my god. Wow, that's kind of funny. Dylan Strong gets traded to the Sharks for Alex Ovechkin going back to Washington. I was actually looking at him. He's down to 80 overall now. 40 years old. Still making like 11 million or something. Valimaki there also to Washington. Vlano to the Ducks. DeMello to the Flyers. Our trade, of course. Let's see. Gostisbehere there to the Predators. Mark Stone to the Flyers. That's the big-time trade. Soderstrom to the Kings. Fabro to the Blues. Tarasenko Podkolzin go to Nashville in exchange for Saros. So Vegas wanted a goalie, and they actually traded 2 of our former players. Both Russians. Both were on our team last season. Pretty cool. Let's see. Dubois to Buffalo for a 2nd and a prospect. Ryder Anderson must be good. Adam Larson, another one of our guys, to the Lightning. Brett Kulak there to the Predators. Michael Bunting to the Rangers. Sagan to the Sabres as well. Sabres are loading up. Be pretty cool, I think. We met them in the Stanley Cup final. Yeah, look at that Dubois trade. Bondier there. Yoki Harju, a 5th and a 6th. Oh, actually, I read that one wrong. Okay. That actually doesn't seem that great. Bondier must be medium elite, if not high elite. And Yoki Harju must have ended up, growing to be a pretty good player. So, the line should all be the same here because we only traded for a prospect who's in junior. So, yes, they are. As I mentioned, let's get Misa extended. It's going to cost us a lot. I waited a bit too long. Honestly, for a 93 in 2028, $10 million is actually really, really fair. We only need him for 4 more years. Doesn't really drop the price at all. So I'll do 6 because that's what he wants. I'm going to offer $9 million. I think he says yes. And if he does, again, that's actually a really, really, really fair contract for a guy his age and his rating. Callum Ritchie wants $2 million. He's got 20 points on the year. Honestly, I think if we wait, we could potentially get him cheaper in the fall. If we did at the beginning of the season, maybe we could have got him for like 1.5 or something. But yeah, we could do this. But honestly, I think it makes sense to wait. Now, Herbal here probably should have extended as well. Because, yeah, he wants $6 million. Luckily, Portillo's 83, and we got some pretty good goalies coming up. I mean, yeah, Huxley there, still 77, but, ooh, not great numbers. But again, we do have options. Honestly, too, I don't think, yeah, Herbal, I'm going to pay anywhere near that. But we'll have control of him, so unless somebody matches it, he's another guy potentially could get for cheap in the fall. And there we go, guys. Misa said yes to the $9 million contract, so I think that's an absolute steal for him. All right, guys, we're now at the end of the season here with a record of 44, 33, and 5, 93 points on the year. We actually tied the Kraken, so whether we had like an extra point, that's who we're playing first round. Definitely, cut it close. We had 3 straight losses there. Jets, Blackhawks, Avs. Had a good amount of losses there in like the last couple weeks. I was getting a little bit worried, but we did have, like a 5-point cushion, I guess, on the Kings getting the last wildcard spot. AHL team misses. See, that's crazy to me. I thought the AHL team was really stacked. I don't know what these other AHL teams look like. I'll definitely take a look at like the Calder Cup winning team because ours is pretty good. Sudemi there, 65 and 72. Misa finished with 77 and 82. Just under 50 assists there. Now in 94. He literally went up in rating since we signed him, so that is awesome to see. PD 71, Michko 65, 37 goals. Quinn Hughes 64, so not as good as last year, but still solid. Hischier 60, Patty Kane 57 at 39. Maybe this is like the year he finally retires. If not, look at his shot. 99 slap shot and wrist shot accuracy. Like, that's crazy. It's still that good at this point. Luke Hughes, 55. So, 7 players there, 50-plus points. Shabbat and Theodore, I mean, 46 points each for a defenseman are not bad. Kuzmenko, 40. He didn't have as much ice time this year. Wasn't on either power play. And still, like, performed pretty well. Amonte. What happened here? He had 12 minutes of ice time. How did he have 12 minutes of ice time? He was on the third line, but then he was on the second power play, second 4-man power play. I feel like he should have been out there a lot more. 32 points. Definitely concerning. Lekermacki, 27. I'm going to have to double check my lines here. Goaltending-wise, Herbel, 913, 2.8 is solid. Portillo, not the best, unfortunately. AHL-wise, Lennox had really good numbers. Like, how is this AHL team not better? Huxley, unfortunately, not good numbers. Let's see. Poise 69 isn't the worst. Aggressiveness 78. Usually a low aggressiveness is actually good. It's if it's high, it's kind of bad. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just first year in the AHL. Whatever. So after Tsunami, Lockhart 50. I guess we just weren't scoring. I mean, Malone was like really good last year, over point per game. Stange here, awesome shot, but didn't really use it. 16 goals. Smolanic here, even 19 goals. Also has a great shot. Again, did not really use it much though. T Swift there, 23 points. Come on. I expect better from him. Now look at the entire league here, guys. McKinnon 110. He popped off this year, plus 47. Troy Terry now with the Penguins. I know we tried to sign him, and he chose them instead. I feel like we definitely should have paid him. I mean, 101-point season. He's still on that contract too, 11.2 million. But Dard had 100 with Seattle. Of course, we have to face Connor Dard in the first round. Should mention, by the time you guys are watching this video, the Canada-Czech gold medal game will probably be happening like 1 to 3 hours after. So hopefully Canada can pull it out. Cal Connor also had 100. Rantanen 99. Jack Hughes, I know you guys want. What does he got left at this point? 2 more seasons. Gensel, Fantilli there, another World Junior player. Jason Robertson. McKinnon actually won the Reacher chart as well, 52 goals. Wow. Now defensive scoring here, Cam McCarr, 81 points. Quinn Hughes, though, was on the first page, so that's pretty cool. 6th in scoring. In terms of the goalie stats, Herbel had the most wins with 40. Wow, okay, so we were just kind of running them there. Save percentage for a starter is Vinny, who we actually had the last time, up a .92 with the Ducks. Then best goals against here for a starter. There's actually Askarov. Okay, 2.63. So the goalie stats are kind of, you know, all around. I'm not really sure who's going to be winning the Vezina. And then Alexander Zetterberg. What a perfect player for Detroit to get. Medium top 6. 17th overall, 2024. Looks like he'll be winning the Calder there. 72 points and a plus 16. And so now checking out the entire league here, guys. The Avs winning the President's Trophy there with 105 points. We finished 11th in the entire league, which is kind of crazy because like we just made it to the playoffs. It looks like it was very close though. A lot of teams. High 80s, low 90s. And last there is the San Jose Sharks, 71 points. Okay. Goals for here, Avalanche 310. We are not on the first page. I mean, yeah, we didn't have really a lot of guys pop off this year. We're at the bottom, though, so that's good. Best goals against, we actually had the 3rd best. So, I don't know, maybe Herbal's kind of making a case for us to sign him. I just think, due to cap reasons, we're probably going to have to let him go. But, again, you never know. Sometimes, you know, you kind of just can't do the math on the fly. Once it comes out, it's not that bad. So, I'll take a look here at the Kraken. Obviously, they got Connor Bedard. They got Shane Wright. They got Matty Beniers. Their center depth is ridiculous. And they actually got Wright on the first line right wing with Bedard. I feel like that should be switched. I feel like Bedard should be on the wing. Wright should be in the middle. Beniers, second line center. They got Tyler Bertuzzi now. Burakovsky's still there. Defensively, it's pretty meh. 84s on their top pair. Yeah, like our top 4 is so much better. Dostal there's an 84 starter. They got Whitehead there, 82 backing him up. I mean, yeah, that defense, I feel like our offense really should be able to kind of handle them. And then our defense, too, is just so much better offensively and defensively. But first 2 games are in Seattle, so it'll actually be a pretty good rival. Obviously, I think these 2 teams are the closest to each other in the league. So let's see what happens. A little Pacific Northwest. Guys, what is happening? I mean, the first 2 games were away. OT loss, close game. 4-2 loss is even close. Head home to Vancouver. There's no way. There's no way. I gotta check something. Okay, I actually wanted to see where Monto's playing. He's got over a point per game right now in the playoffs, 4-3. Like, what is happening? He's 3rd line left wing. Let's, I don't know, put him on right wing. As I mentioned, he's on the first power play, but he is on the second. He's also on 4-man power play too. How do you only have 12 minutes this year? We gotta switch up something. I mean, you guys didn't want Kuzmenko second line. Our first line is not playing well. Misa's got 0 points right now in the playoffs. PD's got 1 assist. Last year didn't do well. Mitch got 1 goal. Alright, so I'm thinking let's give some ice time to Amante, I guess. I don't know. I'm just literally just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping it works. So there we go. You got Kane on the third line now because we're probably not bringing him back. I don't know. We're gonna try something here for the reverse sweep. This is outrageous. The fact that like this team was just above 500 beginning. Here we go.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
We get swept by the Seattle Kraken. Wow. 6 straight years in the playoffs. 5 of 6 years first round exit. I can't believe it. Especially too, we have like the attribute effect at 9 out of 10. So it's supposed to be more realistic sims where like the better teams are winning more often, and I feel like honestly it's the opposite. I wanted to just point out to you guys like their defense, they had 284s on their top pair. That's literally bottom pair for us. Like that's our top 4D. Let's see Herbal's playoff stats. Yeah, they weren't the greatest, but I mean the guys in front of them definitely weren't performing. When you look at that first line, how they played. Patty Kane actually ended up 5 points 4 games, so not bad. But another disappointing playoff run. Like that is. Sucks so much. And the playoffs are now complete, guys. The Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup. Rochester Americans won the Calder. I mentioned I'd really want to check out the Rochester Americans team. I'm very curious to see what that AHL team looks like. Edmonton there, winning another draft lottery, jumping from 3 to 1. Rangers from 8 to 2. So you got Edmonton, back at the top of the lottery. Rangers jumping up a ton, like they did when they drafted Lafreniere. So the Buffalo Sabres, the Rochester Americans, looking at their players in the system, they actually have a ton of 80s. Okay, so respect to them. A lot of high 70s there as well. Okay, honestly, like that's a pretty good team. I thought our AHL team was good, and apparently, actually, like it could be better. You can see we've also got a lot of 80s, some high 70s. I mean, I don't know. Actually, after looking at that, it's pretty well the same. We got an 80 overall goalie. I feel like we should have at least made the playoffs, but whatever. We'll get to the draft, but first, should take a look at the awards as well as the playoff tree here. See Carolina's road to the Cup. So we beat the Flyers there in 5, Devils in 6, Senators in 6, and then of course the Kraken in 7. So Kraken beat us, and then they actually lose in the Stanley Cup final. After they beat us, every series they had went 7. I mean, how do we not win a game? Like not a single game. Awards here: Hurricane, Stanley Cup, as presidents. I think we know these. Individual: McKinnon, Art Ross, as well as the Hart, McCarr, James Norris, Bedard, Lady Bing, Zetterberg there, Calder, Nietzsche's Conn Smythe, Askarov got the Vezina. Vinny there got the William Jennings. Edmondson, Bill Masterton, now on the Panthers. Flyers coach Jack Adams. Sharangovich with the Selke Trophy. That is very interesting. That's a guy I've never seen win it before. McKinnon also got the Ted Lindsay, of course, with Ramesh Richard. So Colorado had a great year. AHL-wise, Calder Cup, of course, Rochester Americans. We did not make the playoffs. Foley most points. Kind of funny. Hatcherati MVP. Wow, so funny to see the vets now in the AHL. Bolshnikov there, most goals. Lecomte, best rookie, or is that just Lecomte? I don't know if it's French or not. Carlson was actually in the AHL. Wow, they signed him for like $4 million and they put him in the AHL. I mean, that's why we let him go. Best defenseman, I assume. So Vladar there, best goalie, back-to-back years. 3rd time in 5 years for him. He's actually on Montreal now, or their AHL team, I should say. That's Sakura guy, MVP. Patriarch also had sportsmanship. Svozil here, community involvement. And then Vladar also had lowest goals against. Now, speaking of playoffs, guys, before I forget, I do want to see in the NHL here, where are our big-name players? Michkov had 2 points. PD had 2. Where's Misa had 0. 94 overall, just got a $9 million contract. He gave us 0 points. He only had 5 shots. Like, oh my, attribute effects is set to almost the max, and the 94 overall player is the worst one on the ice. I don't know how you kind of make up for that. And speaking of Kane retirement, there you go. 1683 and 1599. 1 game shy of 1600. That kind of sucks to see, but what a career for him. Well over a point per game. Sangos from Evgeny Malkin was actually in AHL. Tore it up still his final year. Stamkos there retires an Islander. Was down to a 78. Carlson also retires. Pacioretty there. Obviously, we had 3 of those top 5 guys on our team. Hall, Kadri, Carlson. He's on Seattle now. Tyson Barrie, Braden Shen, Gallagher, Evander Kane. I mean, wow, just a lot of like everyday NHLers. Zach Hyman there, Shane Schwartz. I didn't realize Zach Hyman was older than Jane Schwartz. That's kind of crazy to see, honestly. So, Nyquist, Rust, yeah, pretty crazy, honestly, the amount of guys retiring. Goalies here, Freddie Anderson, Bobrovsky, Markstrom, Talbot. So, honestly, pretty good retirement class there, especially in regards to the goaltenders. So next year, guys, we'll get to the draft. Kadri's now a coach. I don't think I could bring Kadri in as a coach. I don't know. I feel like he's not the coaching type. But like I was saying, guys, we will get to the draft. I don't know. Like, does this team need a big shakeup? Do we need to fire the coach? Maybe keep the head coach, because I do think his stats are like all A's. I'll check after the draft, but like fire the associate and the assistant, bring in two new guys. Maybe our chemistry wasn't good. I don't know. Edmonton, first overall pick on the block. Rangers, second overall pick on the block. Are the top two guys not good? I mean, they're both medium elite gems. You'd think they'd be pretty solid. Now you got 5 million elites there at the top as usual. I know some people were saying they didn't like the low draft class quality, low prospect quality, but honestly, I think it makes it more realistic later on, like in the franchise. Otherwise, you just have teams that are way too stacked because like they're constantly hitting in the draft, which obviously isn't realistic. A lot of times you'll have a draft where you don't get anybody. A good draft would be like getting 3 NHL players. Most drafts you probably get 1 or 2. Low top 4, but he's a gem, 89. Gem that we have no idea about. Honestly, I'm very inclined to take him just, for fun. Low 7th B gem. I mean, this is actually one of the most gems I've ever seen. Might as well, I guess, pin the low top 4. I just noticed this goalie. Early second round. We do have the Red Wings second round pick, so potentially could get him. And look at this dude. Are you kidding me? Slight chance to be low franchise. I definitely want to take a chance on him. As well as the goalie, too. Could be high elite. Wow. Our scouts went off this year. Guaranteed medium elite Sexton. Looks to be like late third round pick. Let's go. Let's see. NHLHTA's 4 years. What's his play style? 2-way forward. That's awesome. And this guy right here is pretty good too, guys. Antti Rantanen. Guaranteed low top 6. Gonna be like literally the last pick in the draft for us. And guaranteed low top 4 at 336. So yeah, I think we'll trade for the last 2 picks and get, a couple decent players. Medium starter there, 183. Yeah. Our scouts this year just went off. All right, guys, we just noticed Kuzmenko's down to 82 overall now after putting up 40 points, which kind of sucks. Obviously, like his shot there, wow, the slap shot's not great. The wrist shot's still pretty decent. I'm willing to move on from him, though. We have a lot of young players coming up. He's making 4.2, which isn't crazy, but we can get a second-round pick back, which gives us a guaranteed medium elite goalie. We get about the same amount of value. Plus this 4th, I think we're going to hit on. Obviously, we have a lot of, good later pinned players. So Florida should say yes. Yeah, they do. Florida, Vancouver, obviously. Really like making trades with each other in real life, so we're keeping that history alive. So we're assuming to our pick here, guys, 36. Looking at the first round, 81 overall medium elite. Barnaby to Edmonton, 71. That's actually pretty low. Wow, the Sharks really messed up. Are you kidding me? Belak there, 80 overall. The Sharks got a 71. That's tough. I'm curious too, X Factor wise. No zone ability. He's got a zone ability. Yeah, Sharks GM, you gotta get fired after that one. But like I was saying, I'm gonna take the guaranteed medium elite goalie with his next pick. Kavanaugh here. Could take the medium top 4 defenseman. He's actually guaranteed to have Yoink. NHLATA's 3 years. He might have more value than the goalie, which is crazy, just because, goalies have less value. But his rank's 45. We can actually potentially get back in and get him. I'm going to take Kavanaugh first. He's a 63 medium elite goalie. That is pretty good. All right, guys, so next year we're trying to get that medium top 4 defenseman who's got NHLATA 3 years, which makes me think he'll be like a medium 60. I'm offering up a guy who's a 56 and 19, which isn't the best. Also, the awareness there could be a lot higher, along with a 3rd round pick. So we're moving up, and we're getting a better prospect defenseman. Pittsburgh says yes. Hopefully this trade was the right move. 43 does not look like it got taken because there's actually a couple medium top 6s. Got Chenyuk there, medium top 4, another medium top 6. I mean, for draft class quality and prospect quality being low, these are pretty good players there, early 2nd round picks. I actually don't see our guy. He must have gotten taken. So after our pick, you got Nugent Hopkins there. Okay, it wasn't him. Was it Galchenyuk? Oh, it was Galchenyuk. That's who I wanted. 63 medium top 4. Wow, so we got taken kind of early because his projection was 45. Luckily, there's some guys who could take. Only able to take one of them. Beck, 3-year NHLATA. Bakos, 3 years as well. So far, no one has an X Factor. Martinez, also 3 years. So Beck's 3 Bs, 3 Cs. Bakos, 3 Bs, 3 Cs. Martinez has a D for skating. Okay. I think it's one of the forwards at this point. Bakos has 2 Bs and a B-. Beck's got 2 B-. That took a while to make this pick. 63 medium top 6. Okay, so not exactly who I wanted, but I'm fine with it. Alright, guys, I'm not sure if this is going to go through, but if it does, it's a steal for us. I want to get 3 third-round picks from the Rangers, along with a 4th. Basically, they kind of worked out perfectly. All 3 of these picks could give us guys that are gems, and they're the only team where I can make a single trade, so it's easy. Offering up 2 4ths and a Kill Thomas. Thomas actually has a ton of value because he's 83, making no money. I'll show you guys here on the skaters block, but in terms of value, it's pretty close there to Fraser Minton, more than a little elite. So I don't mind trading him as 4th liner. We can definitely have somebody else fill that role. Good physical, but defensive stats are kind of bad. AD awareness, good skater, as I mentioned. But again, we're getting 3 gems. It's worth moving on from him. Wow, yeah. Plus, we got a 4th round pick there. I was actually only going to go for the 3/3. I threw the 4th on just for fun. So I'll send here to pick 71. We actually get back-to-back picks. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go down here. The first gem is actually the Lycans guy, who's completely unknown, so it's going to be a kind of fun pick. And he's a 57 medium elite. Wow. So our scouts knew he was a gem. They just didn't know how good he was. That is a great pick. Kind of sucks. Like, we've only got 4 years left in this franchise. I feel like we are doing so well scouting, and it just doesn't matter. This guy here's a gem, but he's a low top 4, so like it's really not worth the pick. I'd rather take a chance on either the low 7th D or go for the guaranteed medium elite. Now, for whatever reason, this guy who might be low 7th is like ranked higher, so I'm gonna take him first. Nikitin, and he's a low top 4. Okay, so I'm not really sure. Again, sometimes the gems don't make the most sense. All right, so next year, guys, trying to move up 7 spots in the 3rd round with the Red Wings, offer them a low top 6, but at 20 years old, he's not even a 60 yet, which is really bad. They say yes. Okay, so yeah, he was probably not going to get signed. Guarantees us the medium elite unless somebody comes and steals him. But I jumped ahead a lot. I jumped like 7 spots, which usually no one moves that far ahead. Actually, probably more like 10. So Wes Sexton here, guaranteed medium elite, 60 overall, 2 medium elites in the 3rd round. Like, that's awesome. And so I'm just saving our next pick here, guys. I think we might actually reach a bit. That guy there could be medium elite. Christian Lundin, Swedish defenseman. Medium top 6, okay. Now next year, guys, I'm offering Columbus a 6th round pick this year, which we don't need. All the guys I want are in the 7th, and a 7th next year for their 2 7th. So we're basically dropping back around this year, and probably, the 7th next year have been lower than their 7ths. They say yes, because that was a pretty fair offer by me. I think I still need 2 more 7th round picks, actually, to draft all the guys I want. And yeah, I'll just show you guys here. There are 5 players. Barrett there could be medium top 6. This low franchise from the Knights is just kind of fun. Anderson, maybe medium elite, then a guaranteed low top 6. Then a guaranteed low top 4 defenseman, guaranteed low top 6 forward. Like, again, our scouts did so well that we're getting these guys late. I think Chicago might also have a couple 7ths. And yeah, they do. So honestly, like, Heikkinen here, high fringe started goalie is usually pretty good. Nikitin here surprisingly has a decent amount of value. 2064 low top 4. Like, that's a pretty low rating at 20. I don't even have to give them the high fringe. I think he actually alone might get the 2 7s. Yeah, he does. Okay, so hopefully we can kind of get better players now with these picks. So first pick here at the beginning of the 7th round. Again, we're just going to kind of take whoever's highest ranked. So that would be McLeod, the low franchise. Come on, imagine he is. Low elite. Okay, still, 7th round. That is a sick pick. Now picking 203 here in the 7th again. Looks like Anderson. Imagine he's medium elite. He's a medium bottom 6. That's okay. You got to take a chance. We actually have back-to-back picks. So next year's already a guy like ranked. I guess central scouting wise would be Rantanen, guaranteed low top 6 forward, 50 overall, but still, at that spot, it's really good. Next year, I'm going to take Barrett, who could be medium top 6, and he's medium bomb 6. All right. Obviously, you're not going to hit every time, but like I would just be so annoyed if I actually saw him like in free agency or whatever. Somebody else drafted him. And then finally, Wyman here, low top 4, 6'5", only 4'9" overall, but looks to be not bad, especially for like one of the last picks in the draft. So I think we did pretty good there. Again, a lot of these guys might end up making the team. I feel like we're constantly picking, constantly restocking the cupboard with good prospects. Like, that's why we always have a solid team. And it just, I don't know, like, so far it has not seemed to matter. We're just getting, so unlucky. So, yeah, the AHL head coach, honestly, I might let him go as well. I think, they should have made the playoffs this year. Obviously, I'm the GM, so it's my job to build a team. And I feel like I'm building a good enough team. The coaches, though, I don't know. I guess they're not getting it done. So, like I said, guys, thinking a clean house in terms of the coaching. But the head coach, I am going to leave. Just because, as I mentioned, like, he's so good. Coach influence, actually, though, is B. I want to say that's went down. Dang. It's like, should we fire him? I mean, he's got pretty good, like, roster scheme fit with most of the guys. Some of the guys it doesn't show there, probably because they need a new contract. But, yeah, I think the assistant coach, the associate coach. I know a lot of times real life teams do this. I wonder, TJ Oshie. Oh, he's got, like, a lot of B's and C's. This guy here, less teaching. I mean, the young guys are kind of done. Maybe Isaiah Sador, A+ coach influence. They say that's the most important stat. Maybe we give him a chance at the head coaching job. We need to change. So Milosh is gone. I think Oshie's gone. Again, I'm just trying something. Sador here. We'll make him the head coach. And then again, AHL head coach. He's gone too. I got to bring in, some new ideas. And so next year, guys, we're at the re-sign phase. We actually have almost 20 million in cap space, but Shabbat and Theodore both need new contracts. Easily, I could see each of them asking for 10 million. Let's see. Shabbat wants 11. What does Theodore want here? He wants 8-7. That's actually pretty fair. We know for 4 more years. He jumps a little bit for whatever reason. I'll do 3. Let's try 3. Let's try 8. That would definitely help us out a bit. Shabbat, there's 1 overall higher. He's asking for substantially more money. Let's try Shabbat. I don't know why he's so much more. Let's try 10 for him. Honestly, after that, like, I think pretty much everybody's under contract. Let's take a look here. Callum Ritchie, again, should really get for cheap. Yeah, look at that, 1.3 million. Okay, perfect. I'll do that 1-year deal. Oh my gosh, even 3 years, 2 million. Let's see if he'll say yes to like a 1.6 for 3 years, because I think he'll grow, and actually that'd be a great contract. So it was the right move not signing him beforehand. Zadorov now wants paid after obviously giving us a great contract. And in terms of goaltenders here, Herbal's up to an 86, and he wants 6 million. So we just cannot afford him. Unfortunately, looks like Portillo, Lennox, Huxley. Huxley's going to grow. Portillo's 27, so he's not. If Huxley, he's high elite, I could see him being like an 84, 85. And we're obviously going to be relying on him heavily there as our starter next year, which is a gamble, but I think it's one we have to make. Herbal will definitely qualify. Hopefully, somebody pays and we get something back for him. Look at this. Breaking news. We fired our AHL head coach. That is kind of funny. Doesn't even say anything about us firing our NHL head coach. Okay, so Shabbat rejected. Feels like he's worth more money. Theodore, though, accepts. Obviously, he wants to play in his home province of British Columbia. Richie rejects as of now. Richie, we could definitely make a better offer on. 3 years. Let's try like 1.8. He should say yes at that point. And then Shabbat, I think we like can keep most of these guys. Let's try 10.5. I feel like it's, I mean, he wants to resign, right? Like, he's got to give us a bit of a discount here. Help us out. Okay, there we go. Shabbat said yes. Richie, though, still wants more money. I'm just going to offer him the 2 million he wants. And there we go. Okay, so that's a great contract on Callum Ritchie. All we have left in cap space is 1.5, so not going to be very active at all in free agency, but obviously, like, the team's under contract for the most part, which is good. As we're with the Misa extension, we wouldn't be. Dano's down to a 79. He wants 1.2. I mean, really, I don't know. Did he help us out much? What were his stats last year? 12 points and a minus 12. He's a dash player on the playoff team. That's usually not a good sign. Malone's now 27. He was good for us in the AHL before, but he wants over $1 million. If it was like 800K, I would have said yes. Gonna have to let him go. Suzuki there, 77, bottom 6. Same with Eberle. Those 2 guys are also being let go. Now, in terms of the defense, guys, we still have a solid top 6 with Kolsov taking over for Zadorov. Thing is, last time I tried this, I'm pretty sure it was -5 on the bottom pair. Now, there's a good chance that'll change with us having a new head coach, but if it doesn't, probably gonna have to, you know, call up Korshak or Jack Guy, and then at that point, just trade Koltsov if he's gonna give us -5. Like, we literally cannot play him, right? And honestly, guys, I'm thinking this Skylar Kavanaugh guy can be the AHL backup next year. Lennox will be the starter, and then I think we'll have Huxley, Portillo in the NHL, like I was saying. And then, of course, Herbal either will get an offer sheet or we'll trade. And it's now the free agency period here, guys. We don't have a lot of money to spend, so we have to be really smart, try and find those value deals. The cover boy, Trevor Zegras, now a free agent, wants $12.5 million. Will Smith there as well. And Tilla, 92, is actually highest rated. Eiserman, high elite, though. 90 overall, he's an RFA. A lot of RFAs have not gotten paid. I'm not sure why teams wait, like let them, you know, get offers from other teams. I never understood that. Like, the AIGMs always seem to do it. Johnny Beecher, up to an 87. He was offered to us. I said he would have been a 4th liner. I mean, I definitely could have afforded him, so, I mean, 100% would have been a rental. Mark Stone, 4.7 million. If we have a spot on our 3rd line, I don't think we have the cap space. That would have been an awesome signing. Now, right now, guys, we're just looking through for, you know, some steals like this. Colvin, 85, only wants 1.7. Really good shot. I'm going to have to go take a look at the depth chart. He's also got 88D awareness for 1.7 million. Like, that's awesome. All right, guys, so this is probably no surprise, but we actually could use a forward since we lost 3. Patty Kane retired. We traded Kuzmenko, and to know we let go. Colvin probably fits on the 3rd line. 1.5 is the max we can offer him. 2 years, he actually wants 1.2. Okay, so let's do like 1.5. Just give us like a tiny bit of wiggle room. Quickly here, I do want to take a look at the goalies. Connor Hellebuck available, 90 overall, but 35. Vinny there's up to a 90. Saugard got to an 87. That is pretty crazy with only starter potential. Looking at the goalies, Hunter Jones, wow, 85 overall goalie with really good stats. I guess his glove hand's really not the greatest, but other than that, good stats for sure. Wants 1.85 million. Maybe he could be our starter. And last year as a backup for Anaheim, he had a .929 and a 2.18. I wouldn't mind having him for 1 year. I'll throw a 1-year offer on him at him. I'll do like 1.4 because I think the way it'll work is that could maybe happen, probably not. But like you have to think your free agent's replacing a $1 million player. The starters there are actually not bad. We just really don't need them if we have enough goalies. And now looking at 2-way skaters here, 1953 low top 6 really isn't worth it. We could use some 4th liners. Noah Gregor, 3-star defense. Colin White, 3.5. Not terrible. Kubalik here, 82 overall, but he's only got 3-star defense as well. Like, really need some more defensive specialists. Jacob Pelche, Two-way forward. I feel like he should probably be more of a playmaker. His defense is also really low. But honestly, he's got such good offensive stats. I might just sign him to be like an AHL stud. And look at this, guys. Muka Muldean's available. 2680. A few X factors there. 5-star physical. Again, if that guy gets -5 on the bomb pair, he's definitely an option. Oh my gosh, it just doesn't change. 800, let's do 900k for 3 years. If he says yes, I think that's really good. All right, guys, so I just sorted the two-way forwards by defense. We have this guy here, Dmitry Ovchinnikov. Tough name to say, 78 overall. 91 D awareness though. Ooh, I like this guy a lot more. Dylan Peterson, 79, power forward, 85 D awareness there, 93 stick check, 5-star physical. Again, I'm just looking for fourth liners. 800k, so like league min. That's awesome. Also, I just found this interesting player here, Ilya Nikolaev, 90 D awareness, 90 passing. Last year he had 51 points playing for the Calder Cup winning Rochester Americans. Trying to get the AHL team back in the playoffs. Could do like cheers 800k on him again. Most likely in the AHL, but never know. Maybe it could be a fourth liner. Next, you guys looking at Kim Peterson. 79 D awareness there, 91 shot block stick check. He's slow, 5-star physical. He's a grinder though. I think he could potentially be like a future fourth liner. Maybe playing like the AHL fourth line for now. And then this guy here is also potentially a fourth liner right now. Carson Bantle, 26, 79. You can see there, 94 shot block, 93 stick check, 5-star physical. He's actually got pretty good hands. Not a bad shot. We don't have a lot of money, so I'm kind of, trying to be creative this offseason with the signings and such. I'm really hoping we at least get one of Tolvanen or Hunter Jones. And if not, both with the way it works, taking over a $1 million player. We're really only adding 1.2 million at that point, so it could be okay. Jacob Pelche says, yeah. Hopefully he'll be like an AHL All-Star for us. Bantle there, one of the power forwards. Peterson, Nikolaev, Muka Muldean, that's big for the defense. Peterson. Hopefully we still have money to get the rest of the guys. Martone definitely not getting up for 2/3. He was the guy with like the Send It X Factor. Hunter Jones rejected. Quite clear on what I was looking for in regards to the contract. Offered him a 1 year, he wanted 2. Tolvanen, still waiting to hear from him. Vegas, a 4th and a 6th for a 7th and a low top 4. Depending on the low top 4's rating, this might be okay. 1951. That's not really amazing. Yeah, I'll take the 2 higher picks. Alright guys, so I'm super confused right now. I just sim forward 10 days, and Tolvanen never got back to me on the offer. Luckily, he's still available somehow, 85 overall, and he's actually gone down in asking price, 1.1 million on a 1 year. Columbus wants him 2. 2 years, he's still very cheap. 3 years, it's a little bit out of our price range. I'm gonna do like a big offer. I mean, I'll just do 1.6 for 2, which sounds big, but if he's playing third line, he'd be good with us. I was actually able to offer him, I think, a bit extra there, plus his ask came down. I don't know, maybe I accidentally like skipped over him saying you don't have the money, or we do have the money though, so maybe I skipped over him saying no or something, but there we go. So Tolvanen, third line left wing, probably playing with like Richie and Lekermacki. I think he'll do great there, and at that price, really can't complain. Like I was saying, guys, I'm going bargain hunting this summer because obviously don't have a lot of money to spend. I think so far we've done pretty well, and I might have just found another diamond in the rough. It's not Jordan Binnington who I'm highlighting, even though 1.8 million for 84, you can see, very good. Everyone else around his rating wants 5 million. It's actually this guy here. Sergeev, 83 overall, 25 years old, 800k ask. Again, I'm not sure if Huxley's going to be up to the challenge of being a starter. Sergeev's got 80 points, which is solid. All of his stats there aren't bad. Last year he had a 918 and a 2.52. Now, that wasn't the AHL, but he's 83 overall. He's got medium starter. We can just afford him. It actually does let us offer 800k. I'll just do exactly what he's asking for. Hopefully another team, notices him there. And of course, at that time, we might have a bit of a goalie competition, but I'm more than happy with that. It's a better spot to be in than, having to rely on a certain guy who maybe we're not confident in. Rejected. I will not accept a 2-way deal. End of story. I'm pretty sure it, suggested 2-way deal for us. Wait, contract type 1-way. I'm pretty sure we always had a 1-way. Okay, you guys all saw that was 1-way. If he says that again, I think there's something messed up. I will not accept the 2-way deal. We're not offering you a 2-way. What the heck? All right, guys. So as I mentioned, Herbal wants way too much money. We don't even have $1 million to spend. I think still at this point he wants like $4.5 million. Trying to get the Senators' second-round pick. They're considered sellers, so it could be like an early first. The value's on our side, but the pick's on the block, so it should hopefully still go through. There you go. Trade accepted. Okay, so look at that. It actually did affect the salary cap because I was wondering the qualifying offer on him would be for like some amount of money. Now we have, okay, 840k. I swear it jumped up like a couple million when I did that, but still, 840k. I'm determined to get Sergeev here, paying him 40k more, 2 years, literally offering him a 1-way. I don't know. And there we go. Finally, somehow he says yes. He just wanted an extra 40k a year, I guess, to pay for his new car or something. So there we go. All right, guys, we're in the fall now. I'm making one last trade. Portillo to the Capitals for a 3rd-round pick. We're just cleaning house in terms of both the coaching staff as well as the goalies. Like I said, the team needed to shake up, and I feel like those are the kind of two easiest places to make changes. Portillo last year did not have good numbers, 4-8 record, below 900, 3.5 goals against. He's on a really cheap deal, but so is our other goalies, so it doesn't really matter. When we get a third-round pick back, might as well do it. Plus, I was going to say, even if he's playing for free, if he's not putting up good numbers, obviously it's a negative for us. Capitals say yes. We're calling up Huxley. That's another thing, too. He's up to like an 82, so definitely want him in the NHL. Alright guys, like I was saying, next year I'm going to show the lines for this team. I wouldn't say we really made any big changes this summer, but definitely made a ton of small changes, and I think that's reflective here with the roster. So I've got Michkov, Misa, and Amante now as the new first line. They're getting a +5. Lekermaki, Richie, and Petey on the second line also get a +5. So Petey's been demoted there to the second line after, not the greatest playoff. Although Misa didn't have a great one either, but he is 94 overall at 21 years old. Richie, Lekermaki, kind of low 80s, so they're getting a chance to really play well there with PD, +5 as well. Minton's on the third line now with Hischier, Tolvanen. I mean, come on, Minton there, 98 passing. Hischier's a very good third line center. Tolvanen got a 90 shot there. Like, I wouldn't mind, say, like, those two guys there, but chemistry, obviously, you can see, isn't as good. Might as well stick with the +5 in the top 6. Fourth line here, I took a while to put together, but Carson Bantle, you can see, defensively, very solid shot block stick check, 5-star physical. Tsunami in the middle, really good D awareness there. Decent face-offs, also a really good passer, 93. And then Peterson here, kind of similar, 5-star physical, actually a really solid defensive stats as well. So hopefully that fourth line's even better. Defensively now, the chemistry isn't as good. So you've got Quinn and Luke top pair, Theodore Chabot on the second, with Muka Moldin and Koltsov on the bottom. Now, if we do switch Theodore and Luke Hughes, it's 2+3. So again, let me know what you guys think. Should we still keep the Hughes brothers together, as it is costing us, like, what is that, 4 chemistry there? Goaltending-wise, Sergey starting, Huxley backing up at 82. He didn't have the greatest numbers last year in the AHL, so I really don't mind him being a backup. His first season in the NHL, I feel like if he went right to the starting role, it might be a mistake. AHL-wise, we got Pelche there leading the team with Soderblom, Martone, pretty good first line, +2. Smolenic, Nikolev, we just got Heinen, same thing. Tracy, Lockhart, Strange, T-Swift there with Nygren, Cooley. So forward group looks decent. Jacki, Korshak, top D pair. Yurmo, Dorrington, PD Jr., Tumanen. Goalies here, we got Lennox starting, and then Kavanaugh there, the new medium elite, backing him up. So I feel like both teams are pretty good. Obviously, we just drafted 3 medium elite potential players as well who, should be joining the team in the next couple seasons. Now, because of just the no playoff success, I don't know if it's a curse, whatever, I mentioned bringing in a bunch of new coaches. I tried to focus on hiring the coaches with the best staff chemistry, and somehow still our staff chemistry is 58%. I don't know what's going on there. Like, I literally went through and just, like, of the top, say 10 coaches, the ones with the best chemistry I hired, and it didn't really seem to matter. Now, like I was saying, guys, some more changes to come. I feel like it hurts to do. We got to strip the C here from PD. Also, Misa, I don't know, maybe being a leader is too much for him at his young age. So, I think Quinn's the new captain. I think Theodore from BC gave us a pretty good contract, and give him an A. I feel like both Hughes brothers having letters might be too much. And I guess the other A will go to PD, but no longer the captain. Should still be a leader, though, in the locker room. So, that's a look, guys, at the new captaincy. Next year, I'll show you the ratings. Again, we'll see what happens. I feel like this team's not as good as they've been the last few years. So watch, like, next season will be the year we actually win the Stanley Cup. Yeah, we got 98 offense, 97 defense, 84 goaltending. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm very curious to see, how this team does next year. Again, when you include the coaches and everything, we definitely made a ton of changes this summer. So curious to see how they affect the sim. But that's gonna do it, guys, for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.